Morning show, Laze. Welcome to the program. Have a seat.
Good morning.
That was the
Good
latest
morning.
single from Laze, a friend of mine as well.
Yes.
Taba Gubahanku.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations. Thank you for dropping by. You have just released your third studio album, Dig Daya. We can see the cover art right there. You also recently has just come off 4 nominations for the AMI Awards.
It's the fifth.
The fifth.
Unbelievable. Okay, and you performed there as
Yeah, I
well.
performed there as
So you've had a very productive year. It's been a great year. For
Quite a productive year, thank you.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about that track that you just performed,
Yeah.
Gubahanku. There was, first of all, there was some elements and sampling from the original
Yeah.
Gubahanku.
Yeah.
It was a song from the late Bruri Marantika as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the process behind that? Where did you get the idea to incorporate the original samples?
So you know, sampling is a very common thing in hip hop.
Correct.
Like you chop in old songs, like most of the pop songs you hear nowadays are from the 60s and 70s. So there's the same technique I apply on this song as well. I was searching for old music because like I believe that Indonesia has a long, very long pop history.
Correct.
Right.
That you know, being undiscovered. So I checked some stuff out, and I feel like when I was listening to this song, like, oh, this is a very beautiful song. It's a very heartbreaking love song.
Right.
And you know, the power of rap is like you can add more stories to that. So why don't I put more detail about more heartbreaking stories like I just rapped?
Yeah.
So I put it right there, and then I took 2 lines from the original song, walau apa yang terjadi, tabahkan hatimu selalu, because like that's the very touching part. So I took it, and I also put another instruments. I work with other producer as well. His name is Randy MP. So all the bass line, the drums, the horns are real.
Recorded live.
Yeah, it's a live recording.
Okay. So
super.
that's amazing that you expose yourself to music from like
Yeah.
the 60s, the 70s. Is this
Yes.
something that you normally do when you research your music?
Yes, actually, yes. Sometimes I even try to look for older music from the 40s, from the
Wow.
50s, because that's the vibe.
That's amazing.
I like
You can still
modern
feel the
music.
vibe though, right?
Yeah,
Great
that's the
track.
vibe.
I really like the lines that he just sang, Paul. I mean, there's also Tuhan punya, no wait, manusia punya rencana, Tuhan punya
punya
agenda.
agenda.
I like that so much.
A true lyricist.
I'm gonna write that as a caption. Okay, so let's talk more about Gubahanku. So Gubahanku is one of the song from your latest album.
Yep.
So tell me more about the latest album.
Okay, so Dig Daya, if we look at the dictionary, it means undisputed power.
Right.
So you see me in the car, it symbolized that I'm on a journey
Right.
to that Dig Daya status, Dig Daya feels, you know. And I believe that we are on the way because we want greatness, right?
Of course.
We want awesomeness, so that's what Dig Daya is really symbolized. So the whole 13 tracks is about that story.
Okay.
You know, some part like makes you feel like very weak, and some part you feel like disrespected,
Oh,
Ups
sure.
and downs.
Yep.
right?
ups and downs, you know, a couple setbacks that inspired me to do
It's a
this
roller
album.
coaster. It's the journey of
Yeah.
life, right?
It's
To
the journey
achieve
of life.
everything.
Well, you certainly have been on a journey. I mean, you began rapping in what, early 2000s?
Yeah,
Something like that?
since when I was a kid, probably in elementary school.
Right.
Yeah, but I got really serious after high school.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a journey that you've been on, and a term we like to use is like paying your dues. You've certainly paid your dues as well.
Yes, a
And
lot.
on this third studio album, Dig Daya itself is a combination of 2 words from 2 languages. Dig from the English
Yep.
of digging, okay, and Daya. What would be the best way to explain it in English?
Power.
Power. Okay, yeah, that would be the best.
So you're
way.
digging your own power.
Right. Okay. So this is the actual literal translation, but by combining these 2 languages, you're also illustrating the way you're combining a lot of Indonesian musical elements into what we consider modern hip hop, which is something that you've kind of evolved into in this third album. Can you tell us a little bit about the process, your thinking process about why you wanted to have this approach for this particular album?
So I always like modern hip hop. You know, I want songs that people can, you know, can dance to in the club, but at the same time, I want a classic, beautiful song. And I feel like we, in hip hop, like lyric-wise, we're very insecure with our own language, with Indonesia. Like how often you hear Indonesian hip hop in the club?
Right.
Like,
Rarely.
like very rare.
Rarely.
So that's what I'm trying to do. because my mindset is like, if the Koreans can, you know, have international hit
That's true.
with Korean language, and you know, same thing with Thailand. Like Thailand is the biggest country in Southeast Asia that represent hip hop right now.
Right. Yeah.
Like if they can do that, why can't we do
And
that?
their language, I would argue, is more difficult than ours.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And what I like the most, Paul, is actually he's doing this rapping genre and adding classical music or tones into it. So tell us more about the idea. How come, you know, you're doing two genres?
It's not actually two genres. It's basically hip hop, but like
Okay.
But like hip hop, the interesting part about hip hop is you can add anything to it.
All right.
You can add like string sections, brass sections,
Right.
and it still sound beautiful, or even traditional instrument.
Yeah, yeah.
So the idea is I want to put my identity as an Indonesian to this modern rap.
So will you, you know, in the upcoming albums or songs, maybe in the future, will you are you consistent to put the, you know, elements of classical music to it?
I think, but it's not always classical, because I believe that Indonesian culture is more than traditional and classical.
Right.
You know, sometimes culture is very street. Sometimes it's like, you know, it's wild sometimes.
Yeah.
Like dangdut, like we have all that koplo and stuff. Like why not?
Oh, koplo, yes.
Yeah, like why not? If I can combine those two worlds into one, like
Why not, right?
if I can execute it beautifully, like why not?
And I can explore more into that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be well received, because something like koplo or dangdut is very unique to our country as well, right?
Yeah.
Now, you recently had a listening party at one of our establishments here in South Jakarta.
Yes, I did.
You also combined or incorporated something that's interesting, which is a visualizer video for all of your tracks, all of your 13 tracks. Tell us a little bit about what the feedback was like at this listening party. I saw clips on social media. It went off, but also about the visualizer and why you decided to incorporate that.
Okay, so me and my team, we're thinking that like music, you have to, you know, like you can't just hear it. You need a visual, you know, for you to get it.
Okay.
And I think the visualizer adds the context to the songs perfectly. And the feedback, some people say this like, oh, this is more than an album. This is a movie.
Yeah, right.
But to me, actually, it's like, I think it's too much to call it a movie right now. It's not a movie yet, not too many scenes. But it set the tones.
Okay.
It set
Were you
the vibe.
inspired by something like, I remember, I think it was in the late 90s or early 2000s, Jay-Z did Streets is Watching. And that was like where he had a whole album, but then he had kind of like it's a mini movie, but kind of like a visualizer, where he added elements to visualize.
Maybe not exactly that, but I was inspired by his album called American Gangster, which is inspired by a movie called American Gangster.
Correct, yeah.
And I watched maybe I watched too many movies during the process of this album. So I was thinking that, visualizer is the way to go. So whenever people want to hear it, they just can go watch the video.
Okay. And it helps get your message across, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like
and
exactly
helps.
what you're trying to say.
Of course. If you watch it like through from the, from start to the end, I think people will get it.
Okay.
It's about 30, 39 minutes long.
39 minutes.
I suggest you guys check it out.
Yeah.
It's
You
really
should. Okay, so you've been, you're always a fan of rapping, right?
Yes.
Since you were young. So your first, let's talk about your first album. Compared to the latest album, how would you rate yourself, or how can, what's your thought about yourself developing from the first album to this album?
Okay, so the first album, the process was like, I did not record the album in the studio.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Where?
it was in my dorm room. It was in my friend's room.
Right.
I was in college, so the whole
The good old stuff, right?
Different.
Yep.
Yeah. But fortunately, the album kind of took off. It landed me a couple of gigs, and I'm in nomination as well.
Okay.
Even though I did it in the dorm room.
Wow.
And then
Is it like raw like that way?
it's raw like that.
completely
man.
raw.
It's raw like that. It's completely raw. And the third album, we took it more seriously,
Yeah.
of course. But I think I'm being more free in this album.
Okay.
Compared to
you explore yourself,
I
right?
explore more,
Right.
and I didn't think about, oh, is this song's gonna sell? Like, I don't know, man, just make the best.
You're not trying to please the world,
I'm
right?
not trying
Not
to please the
every
world,
single
but
person.
I'm trying to push it to the world.
Right.
Very nice. Well
So
put.
what was the first album called, and what was the you know, the hit single made?
Okay, the song called the album called Waktu Bicara,
Waktu Bicara.
and the song that took off called Mengerti.
Mengerti?
Yeah, Mengerti. Yeah, I think that was the first song that landed me like, you know, endorsement deals, gigs, nominations, and that song helped me a lot until today.
Okay.
So I have to say this because I don't know if I've ever told you, but I've always, the thing that impressed me the most about you is your lyricism, the fact that you're able to have a good play on words. And I don't know why, almost in a physical way as well, you always reminded me of Nas. Like, it's one of my favorite rappers growing up. The way you deliver your lyrics, you kind of look like him too in a little bit of a
Yeah,
way.
man, I get that a lot.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I
all
get that a lot.
Okay, so I always say he's like the Nas of Indonesia. Who were some of your favorite rappers growing up? Do you remember your first favorite rapper?
My first favorite rapper was, of course, Eminem.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
And before Eminem, it was always Mike Shinoda, right?
Okay.
I don't know why. It doesn't even matter. But now my current favorite rapper is like always Jay-Z, Nas, New York rappers.
Okay.
Always there.
What's your first Eminem song you ever liked?
It's Stan.
Okay. You remember some of the lyrics?
The lyrics,
Spit some of it for
you're
us.
slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
Ah.
But I'm wondering why.
Yeah, definitely. In this album, you also collaborated
Yeah.
with others, and collaborations is a very important part of hip hop.
Yes, of
Why did you choose the particular artist that you chose for the collaborations for Digdaya?
Okay, for Digdaya, I collaborate with more rap artists, like hip hop artists. Like why I collaborate with them is because like the hip hop sound is evolving.
Right.
It's changing. You know, a lot of autotune, a lot of melodies compared to what I started back then, what you enjoyed back then, right? And I feel like I need to embrace the new kids, you know, to get on to the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Pass the torches along.
Yeah, pass the
and
torches
continue
along.
to pay it forward.
Of
Right.
course.
And on the music side, of course, I need producers that understand the vision of the songs. This is how I pick it. Like we can see the energy just by looking at it.
Yeah, I agree.
And also in the hip hop music, do you think there's like, you know, a special range of age that actually can listen just to hip hop? If so, now how do you promote your music to a wider audience and also gain more listeners?
By coming here.
Yeah, oh, that's a good one.
We hope so. We hope that's it.
We're happy you're here
Well,
too.
because hip hop is so much more mainstream now. Is there a particular approach that you have to kind of change these days as opposed to in the past? Because in the past, hip hop is more underground, so you don't really have to worry about that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like every social media that I can, you know, put my hands on, I'll try to do it. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's the way.
Nothing wrong with a little
Nothing is
shameless,
wrong.
self-promotion.
Yeah.
And for your future plan, Laze, what is your big future plan?
My big future plan is like how big? Like, okay, let's say like I'm going to go on tour. Like,
Oh, when?
yeah, probably next year.
Right?
Okay, nice.
Yeah, just a couple cities, and we're going to drop merchandise
Nice.
for this album too.
Sweet.
As well, and yeah, more gigs.
All right,
Show.
we hope so too.
Yeah.
Certainly enjoy. So we have another performance coming up from you. This one is very interesting, and I hope to our viewers that are they're viewing from outside of Indonesia, please do translate the lyrics on your own to your own languages because the lyrics reflect a lot, and we can relate a lot
Yep,
to this
yep.
because it's called Orang Kita, roughly translated to our people.
Our people.
Yep.
And you kind of you throw some shade and you talk a little bit about the way we behave and sometimes misbehave.
Yeah.
And this was actually the song that was one of the nominations that you received for the 2023 AMI Award.
Yes.
What category did you?
Best hip hop production.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the thought process behind Orang Kita.
Okay, so like,
Where did this
you
come
know, I live my life day-to-day basis, you know,
Yeah.
as one of the Orang Kita.
Right.
And I looked at wow, like maybe this is the only things that only allowed in Indonesia.
Yep.
Like people park their car everywhere. Like you ride a bike and go against the grain.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the only thing that only we do, and we keep doing it since way back, and nothing changed.
It's so
I
true.
made this song because nothing changed.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's still there,
yeah,
right?
it's still there. And I really enjoy walking, so I got really annoyed when there's a motorbike on the sidewalk.
Coming the wrong way.
Coming the wrong way.
People not lining up.
Yeah, like,
Sorry, not
oh
wrong.
my
True, true.
God. Like-
We heard about the Orang Kita song when it was, on a break, right?
Yeah.
So we can so relate
relatable,
to
right?
the song,
Very
right?
much so. Right.
Again, we are going to hear it. Laze, so get prepared. So this
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be
Make sure you pick up Dig Daya. It's available on all the digital platforms, correct?
on
All
our
right.
streaming platform, and I will throw some shades on Orang Kita because we need to shine, right?
All right,
Like that.
absolutely.
Shade away.
Like
well
that.
said. All right, without any further ado, please welcome with his AMI-nominated track here to close off this segment. Don't go anywhere. We still got more from the C Morning Show with our final hour after this. Without any further ado, with Orang Kita, this is, once again, Laze.
Orang kita, orang kita,
Orang kita lebih percaya yang mistis daripada yang realistis. Orang kita sulit untuk pisahkan, bedakan mana yang pertemanan dan bisnis. Orang kita dulu melawan penjajah, tapi sebagian dari kita masih manja. Gatot kaca mungkin punya otot besi, tapi kita butuh mental baja. Orang kita kadang tergoda sogokan, semua asal harganya cocokan. Asal muasal dari semua kebobrokan, tinggal cuci tangan, masukkan ke kobokan. Orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang tulis sejarah, jangan sampai kurang tinta. Orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang tulis sejarah, jangan sampai kurang tinta. Orang kita mobil mewah tanpa pajak, orang kita banyak karya yang dibajak. Orang kita tak ada yang suka miskin, ambil resiko sampai masuk suka miskin. Orang kita naik motor lawan arah, lewat trotoar pejalan kaki dimarah. Orang kita masih cenderung latah, yang tren hari ini diikuti semata-mata. Untuk jadi relevan, untuk jadi selebgram, di grup WhatsApp dengan keluarga dan teman. Sebar berita yang ternyata hanya karangan, karena orang kita buang sampah sembarangan. Orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang tulis sejarah, jangan sampai kurang tinta. Orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang tulis sejarah, jangan sampai kurang tinta. Orang kita paling tidak sabar antri, belum kenyang kalau belum makan nasi. Cukup sensitif, seringkali marah, pilih Zainab karena harus jauhi Sarah. Orang kita ke Eropa dan Amerika, bawa bubuk cabe di dalam tas mereka. Orang kita memang banyak yang pintar, enggan balik lagi bila belajar di luar. Orang kita memang sangat beragam, cara bertindak dan berpikir tidak seragam. Masih banyak cerita tentang orang kita, kalau aku kritik bukan berarti kurang cinta. Orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang tulis sejarah, jangan sampai kurang tinta. Orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita, orang kita.